Good evening and welcome to the February 15th, 2017 Town Board meeting. This is our legislative session and I'll officially call the meeting to order. And I'll ask that everyone please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Here.
Metzler.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Quinn is absent.
Thank you very much. I just want to note, even though it's so noted on the agenda and it's been on our website, the public hearing that was scheduled to be heard this evening at the request of the applicant, that has been withdrawn, and that was to allow a nail salon at 1802 Penfield Road. Again, that has been withdrawn and will not be heard by this board. I would like to recognize our clerk to start us off with our communications and announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The American Red Cross wishes to inform the community that following several rounds of severe winter weather throughout the U.S., a shortage of blood donations has occurred. Since December of 2016, about 300 blood drives across 27 states have been canceled due to weather, and more than 10,500 donations have gone uncollected. Eligible blood and platelet donors are being asked to come forward by the Red Cross to help restock and overcome this shortage, storage. A donation can help meet the American Red Cross's needs for patients in critical medical situations. Anyone at least 17 years of age who meets the weight and height requirements and is in generally good health may be eligible to donate blood. Visit redcrossblood.org for upcoming drives near or within Penfield and to schedule an appointment. You can also call 1-800-RED-CROSS or 1-800-733-2767. Thank you.
Mrs. Mess?
We have one announcement this evening. On Sunday, February 26th, please join our town historian, Kathy Knauer, at the public library to learn about life in West Penfield. Along with Diane Dayton-Riley, Kathy will share insights into the westernmost part of our town and give a brief history of the area. Diane will relate her personal story of growing up in West Penfield. This is a free program. It will be from 2:30 to 4 p.m. again on Sunday, February 26th at the Penfield Public Library. To register, please visit penfieldlibrary.org or call 340-8720. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one announcement tonight. The town offices will be closed this coming Monday, the 20th, in observance of President's Day. So again, we'll be closed on Monday, we'll be open back on Tuesday, and we will be hosting DMV on Tuesday the 21st. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Monroe County Executive Cheryl D'Onofrio has announced Monroe County is partnering with Rochester Works to bring the Recruiting Round Rochester on the Road job fair to the Penfield Public Library on Wednesday, March 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The partnership connects employers in the community with job seekers. The event is free and open to the public with no registration. Many businesses will be in attendance, including Paychex and Monroe BOCES 1. Job seekers are asked to come prepared for an interview, bring extra copies of your resume, and dress for success. For additional details and information about the upcoming job fair here in Penfield, hosted by Monroe County on March 8th, please visit their website at monroecounty.gov. And I would just like to thank the county executive and her partnership with the town and Rochester Works in having this event, this important jobs event here in Rochester, or here in Penfield at the library. Again, it's Wednesday, March 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Penfield Public Library on Baird Road. Thank you. My next announcement is the town of Penfield is now accepting entries for its 2017 Memorial Day essay contest. This annual contest is open to all middle school students, grades 6 through 8, who live in Penfield. This year's topic is the America I Believe in. Essays will be judged by members of the American Legion Bremen Post 1229 and Penfield Rotary. The top 3 essays will win cash prizes courtesy of a generous donation from the VFW Post 820. Students will be asked to read their winning essays at the town's annual holiday ceremony on Monday, May 29th. All entries must be submitted by Friday, May 12th. Please send your essay to Memorial Day Essay Contest, care of Penfield Recreation, 1985 Baird Road, Penfield, New York, 14526. Complete contest information can be found at penfieldrec.org or by calling Sabrina Renner at Penfield Recreation at 340-8651. Thank you.
Councilwoman Cole.
The Penfield Players will be performing their Winter Readers Theater show entitled The Explorers Club on Saturday, February 25th at 2 p.m. at the Community Center. Set in Victorian London in 1879, the Explorers Club features a renowned group of adventurers and scientists who study anything and everything with nature, animals, and the world itself. Theater admission is free, but donations to the Penfield Players will be accepted at the door. For details, you can check out penfieldplayers.org. And my next community chat will be Tuesday, February 21st from 5:30 to 7 in the new book area at Penfield Library. And I also want to mention the euchre tournament. It was brought to my attention tonight by one of our audience members that Penfield Rotary Euchre tournament is on March 12th. Publicity's just going out for that. Sunday, March 12th. Check in 2 p.m., start 2:30 at the Legacy at Willow Pond, 40 Willow Pond Way. Tickets are $20 a person, and you can get the tickets and more information by going to www.penfieldrotary.org.
Was that an expert card player that you got that information
It was
from?
an expert.
All right,
Yes.
very good, very good. We'll move on to communications and announcements. There are two opportunities to address the board on any matter at this time. And if you're in the audience, you can come right to the podium. If you're at home, you can call 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org. And we'll have a second one at the end of our agenda. And I'll ask our clerk if anyone has signed up to speak tonight.
Yes, Mr. Richard Hammond.
Mr. Hammond, one of our local farmers and one of our individuals that has helped keep East Penfield continuing to, kind of enrich and be part of our rich agricultural heritage. So, Mr. Hammond, always a pleasure.
I am Richard Hammond, living at 1410 Penfield Center for a very long time. I'd like to say that I want to say thank you to our attorney, our town supervisor, and the town board. And I have a few thoughts on regards to drainage. In 2007, we came before this board here after joining a drainage task force consisting of farmers and concerned citizens in East Penfield, the Brayman Farm, Office Farm, Woody Acres, Jim Bowman, and myself. The commission ditch starts in the Hammond Farm and continues on around and goes into Fairport. So at that time, there wasn't the dedicated maintenance of the ditch, and we had an awful lot of flooded fields, loss of finances through farming, and many septic systems were challenged. We don't mention too much about septic systems because it's a little tough issue. So anyway, in 2010, the commission ditch was cleaned. Took a little doing, but a couple of years. However, it's been a success now because of the maintenance of our town workers. What has happened is through, I believe, some of our efforts, the town has seen fit to buy several pieces of equipment for that purpose and to be used in other areas also. I've placed them on the board here. I'd like to just, I don't know if I can I talk loud enough so we'll try it? Anyway,
In fact, we got one of these portable ones right here, Dick, that.
okay, can you hear me from here or no?
So, this one is,
We can hear you, I think it's whether
There we
it's
go.
captured by...
because we record these, we always like to capture all the good information, or comments that people make, so you're
Thank you very
live
much.
right there, Dick, so.
Do I push a button right now?
Nope, all you have to do is talk right into it, and you're set to go.
Okay. It's like a little shot glass, ain't it?
Maybe it is.
See you later. Okay, so what we got.
So if you just talk right into that, Dick, yeah.
What we
perfect.
got here is, the town has seen fit to buy a mower that goes onto a small track machine here, and it gives it an opportunity to reach down into areas, as you can see here, creating a good place so that they can monitor the ditch and maintain so that growth don't go in it. We had this excavator here, but the seen fit to buy a bigger one, whereas we didn't have to put out for bid. We could use our skilled force. One would be easy, more profitable time-wise to do it, and I believe it's made a great deal of difference to the drainage effort. Another picture of it here. Through here, we have a machine going down through here. This is a commission ditch watershed here, of which we're involved. However, now as we view the whole town of Penfield, we can see that other areas have been worked on, cleaned, maintained, and not only the ditches, but the tributaries, which are a big thing, because as soon as we see the water flowing through to the ditch, then we know that the veins in the soil are being washed clean, and after 2010, we see a great deal of difference in heavy water flow, and it makes an awful lot of difference. They're getting washed through, and it really is great through your efforts. Okay, this is a Bobcat with a mower on it here. Tremendous tool. It's a very durable tool, and it can be raised up over obstacles that would be alongside of the ditch, and still and all can mow and keep it down. It's a great thing for maintaining the area along the ditch where we can come down through. This is what we would see or had seen, where collection of debris hampered the flow, and especially here it's not as evident, but when there's something like that there during this cold weather, now it starts to freeze because we don't get the movement of the water, and then it backs up a little bit and it freezes. Well, then when it thaws, it takes a long time for that to get out. Some water will drain underneath it, but the way it's maintained now, it's a great deal different. There's still some work to be done. I mean, because things fall into the ditch because the ditch travels through some brush areas, and those brush areas, when the heavy snow comes, they'll break off the branches and they'll eventually fall in. They may not clog right there, but a little further down when they gather up with others, then you get similar condition as this here. So,
And Penfield's a little bit flat too, isn't it, Dick?
yes, the commission ditch is very, very tough to drain. Yeah, very tough to drain. I thought this is my first experience with this here. I see how this Bobcat is being used here. Tony, could you give it a little more of a description of this here? I'm not quite so familiar with it.
Sure, absolutely, Dick. So that is a project that we worked on last year. And one of the things that we've been doing is that we've been balancing out our crews and our resources. Certainly, we've got to get the major ditches opened up and cleaned up, and then from there, getting into some of the smaller tributaries, as you had indicated. And that location is right off in Baird Road, and it was put in a long, long time ago, and had a lot of bends, and so we had some erosion, which caused problems downstream, also causes problems for water quality. So we've been going in and identifying and prioritizing, and then getting permits for doing work in those areas as well. There's stone that we can riprap to help minimize the erosion, and similar to what we see out in East Penfield, getting the water table down a bit and recapturing some of that land. This here is also getting the water table down and minimizing impact on basements, sump pumps, and we still have a few. While we've tried to do a good job of getting sanitary sewers in place, we still have a few septic systems, and again, that'll make more efficiency for the septic systems and not flood them out. So we've been doing a lot of work, as you know, for the last 7 or 8 years. Paula and I sit with the watershed management, and one of the things that we instituted when I first came into office is our engineering department working with our DPW, so that we're identifying what the issues are, and now we're getting permits ahead of time, so that instead of knowing we got a problem here and waiting for 3 years to get the permit, we're starting a lot of that. And Mark Valentine and his team have done an absolutely fabulous job to do that. And then our highway folks and DPW folks have been doing just a great job as they've gone through, and especially this winter, when in between plowing, we're out actually working on ponds, ditches, and doing a lot of cleanup so that we minimize that growth and minimize the disruption of the flow.
And just to rehash that just a little bit, having that equipment here
Yes.
at your leisure, when you feel it's a good time to do it, is certainly a big payback for our taxpayers who are benefiting tremendously from this. See, I don't think people think as much about the sub pump as one would think. We advocate for better lighting using less wattage and such. Having the drain properly, that sub pump doesn't run near as much. It's not so much the cost of the pump, but it's the electricity that run the pump, because every time you turn the pump on, that takes a shot of electricity,
Right.
whether it runs another 5 minutes or not.
Right.
So it's a great benefit. People perhaps don't really realize it. As we spoke back in 2007 and at different meetings, we talked about the ditch being 250, main highway. Now we bring in the side streets, Penfield Center Road, Northrop Road, bring them in. Okay, now we're draining into the main commission ditch and the waterway, and it's lowering everything down. It's a great blessing. I need to say, I was thinking of if our town had the opportunity to receive a award, they certainly would be worthy of it. But as I kept thinking about it, there is a reward. It's called elections. Each one of yous have been reelected and will be again, based on what way I feel about it and what I'm seeing and hearing from people out in the street. So there is a reward. It's not a physical one, but it's a one that all of yous can be very proud of, I feel. And I had to mention that. Now, the other thing, we've got the ditches, tributaries, pretty well under control. Now we got our culverts under driveways. Many of these homes have been built for a very long time. Some of them had to have oblong drainage pipes, which can compress. Many of these had just stone driveways and now have seen fit to put in blacktop. Those meaning heavy trucks or equipment have driven over them for various, and besides the blacktop. So as I drive around and see things, I see many of these culverts that are plugged with leaves and other debris. It's a law in this town that you can't block drainage. It's a law. And I used to do landscaping. We had to make sure that the swales were perfect, and we had to make sure that the purchaser knew that you got a little dip there when you mow. Don't destroy that, because you're going to hurt somebody up there and you're going to hurt yourself. So I will come to the next watershed meeting. I'll talk about the drainage under the tile that goes under the road. I remember George Wiedemer saying he knew what we were talking about, and every spring he would go to his neighbor's home who was a little unable to shovel that out of there a little bit, just a round pointed shovel, just clean it out a little bit. And even if there is a few leaves in there, if you clean it out, it'll wash through. Now, you know, it's going to go somewhere else a little bit and so on, but nevertheless, I think you're going to be looking at property at 250 and Atlantic Avenue and Penfield Center Road. I don't know what that's going to be. A portion of that Friends Farm and Myers Farm flows into the Commission ditch. One goes underneath the tile just north of Atlantic Avenue on the left-hand side of the road. We at one time talked with the town highway superintendent at that time. He was going to try and do a little something with the state to get them to clean some of that brush out of there and open up the tile the way it ought to be. So I would ask when you perhaps rezone that. I'm not going to say what's going to happen there, but also remember that that farm has a drainage to the west, and it also drains to the east.
Yes.
There is that spot up in there, East Louisville, with that Woody Acres Farms up in there, that gets flooded out quite often up in there. So that, to my idea, is kind of the dividing line on that. So I'm sure you'll address that, and you'll keep that in mind for all of us.
We're currently, Dick, for your information, we're currently reviewing that as part of our mixed-use district that we're looking at for that area. And MRB just recently submitted their draft generic environmental impact statement. And one of the things that Mark Valentine and his crew are looking at from an engineering standpoint is to address those components of that as well. So whatever happens as part of mixed use, the drainage is a very important component of that.
Yeah, I believe that there's the ditch between the Ball Diamonds and the Gun Club, and that flows north, and it does go under Penfield Center Road, and then it enters a pipe, and that water comes out at Jackson Road and Penfield Center Road on the northeast corner, right there. So I don't know how much water will be coming down through there or what it'll be, but it's gonna, because I'm not schooled on this, but I'll just throw something out. If you got a 2-story building and you evaluate the water that's gonna be addressed from bare ground, how does that affect? Is that going to catch more water than just the bare ground? And we know we know that the calculations are based on the soil, the sponge that's there. So I have faith in all yous, and I'm sure you'll address it adequately. The other thing is, perhaps when you meet with your counterparts in like Pittsburgh or Fairport and Webster and that, I don't think they do as good a job. So consequently, we have backup, we'll say. Now, it's not to a great, tremendous degree, but like I say, I believe you deserve a great deal of reward for what you've done. And I gotta say, Debbie Draw and Jim Mully and our other supervisor, George Wiedemer, all worked on this project too, and deserve recognition on that also. So,
Thank you.
so with that, I believe I'm pretty well done.
All
And
right.
I appreciate your time and giving me a little extra time.
Well,
I do have one thing here, which just popped up. We have the Penfield calendar, and I think this is a great thing that you have done. It alludes to all different meetings, and it's very attractive. Of course, I'm kind of proud of that there. Happen to have a couple bricks there.
Yeah, I know you do, Dick.
And so I would encourage people to pick them up. You see at the library, town hall here when you're here, or at different venues, stores and such as that.
Yep.
But I think it's a great thing. And again, thank you for all this that you have accomplished since 2007 when I first came here. And with that, I'm going to say good evening.
All right. Dick, I'll say thank you to yourself. I think we've been talking drainage for probably close to a dozen years, on again, off again, in a lot of different settings. And it was yourself and a number of the farmers in East Penfield that really helped refocus, I think, the town in addressing drainage, not only in East Penfield, but across all of the town, and making sure that we were doing all of those things that, and not getting ourselves behind, not going for 30 years or close to 30 years for cleaning the ditch, but to do that a lot more regular, because that was just the right thing to do. And I think that I'll say that we have done more drainage work in the last 10 years than I would say probably the previous 20 years to that. So,
Amen.
yeah, amen. And our goal is that we don't want to flood anybody out. We don't want to negatively impact septic systems. We don't want to damage property. We certainly don't want to impact our farm fields and things like that. So our commitment is to continue to do drainage across the town. You'll see at our next work session working on a project in Allen's Creek, and it's another area that again needs some attention, and we just have to eat the elephant one bite at a time, because it is a pretty involved project, but we got to start somewhere, and getting on that and sticking to that is really a key. So thank you for your efforts, and the Rothfuss, the Bramans, the Baumans, the Woodwards,
Yes.
and a couple of others that
Very concerned East Penfield people who very thankful for your dedication to that. I did miss something here. Amy, I wanted to thank you for your part. I know I guess you're part of the board, but I wanted to recognize you anyways. And thank you very much for what you do for this town.
My
The other
pleasure,
thing
Dick.
is,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You reminded me of something, and I need to tell you this. You and I were on Allen Road at 7 o'clock, talking with people at their dining room table
we were.
about drainage across the road from them.
Yep.
And I thought that was something that a man would take out of his regular schedule and meet with these people so that that was their chance to meet with you and talk with you about it. And it's never been forgotten over there, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick. Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Be well. I see you more regular at the market, which means it's nice weather, so I'm hoping for nice weather.
Well, the other side of that coin is when you get to be 80, it's nice to be seen.
All right, Dick. Thank you. All right, do we have anyone else that has signed up to speak?
No, we do not.
Okay, seeing none, let's move on to additions and deletions. We have at least one addition to the agenda, if we could. Mr. Moore.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, I would like to make addition for Resolution 17T-069, named Authorization for Town Supervisor to sign a memorandum of agreement with the Town of Arundecoit regarding use of town equipment. Thank you.
Okay, great.
second
Thank you.
that.
It's been moved and seconded, and that will be under new business for 069. All right, we have the minutes before us of January 18th, 2017, and would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I'd like to move that the minutes of January 18th be approved.
And I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
The next item is petitions. Has the town board, town attorney, or town clerk received any petitions since our last meeting? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions by function. We'll start with law and finance, please.
Authorization to attend New York State Town Clerks Association Conference.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas New York State Town Clerk Association is dedicated to promoting professional development of town clerks across the state as administrative leaders. Whereas the New York State Town Clerks Association 35th Annual Conference has been scheduled at the Hyatt Regency in Rochester, New York, April 23rd through April 26, 2017. Now therefore be it resolved that Town Clerk Amy Steckloff and Deputy Clerk Lisa Grosser are hereby authorized to attend the 2017 New York State Town Clerks Association Conference, and the funds to attend this conference be included in the 2017 Town Clerk budget.
Thank you. Discussion? Same question that I ask every year. You have the office completely covered during that time when two important people are out of the office.
And then some.
Okay, very good. All right, seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to attend Highway Superintendent's Advocacy Day for local roads and bridges in Albany, New York.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the New York State Association of Town and Highway Superintendents and the New York State Association of County Highway Superintendents co-sponsor an Advocacy Day campaign in Albany to advocate for an increased share of the transportation funding for local roads and bridges. And whereas this Advocacy Day campaign has been very successful in the past at advocating for maintaining our fair share of local roads and bridges funding, therefore be it resolved that the highway foreman is authorized to attend the Advocacy Day campaign for local roads and bridges in Albany, New York on Tuesday, March 8th and Wednesday, March 9th, 2017, and that all appropriate expenses will be reimbursed, which are currently budgeted in the 2017 DPW budget.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Amending the contract for the construction of sanitary sewers within the Parkview Drive, White Village Drive area, extension 56 to the Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town board has established extension number 56 to the Penfield Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District for the purpose of providing sanitary sewers to 185 properties within the Parkview Drive, White Village Drive project area. Whereas after a thorough evaluation of all the bids, it was determined that the bid received from Fine Line Pipeline Incorporated was the low bidder and met the town's bidding requirements for this project. Whereas on February 18, 2015, by Resolution 15T-065, the town board awarded a contract for construction of sanitary sewers within the Parkview White Village Drive project area in a total bid amount of $1,688,528, And whereas change orders to the original contract amount are necessary to account for quantity adjustments in the final phase of this project in an amount not to exceed $19,087.90, whereas the change orders are within the scope of the contingency for the overall project and will not require any additional money to be bonded. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, acting as commissioners of the Penfield Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District, concur that this expansion of the scope of the project is prudent and therefore authorize the increase in contract for Fine Line Pipeline Incorporated as outlined in the change order number 5 in an amount not to exceed $19,087.90.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, roll call vote.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Awarding 2017 to 2021 yearly contract for weekly, biweekly, monthly, and once per season turf mowing.
Mr. Supervisor, I would first move to amend this resolution. There is one typo and
So if we could move the resolution.
I'll second that
and then
resolution.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded, and now if you would, please, for the amendment.
the amendment is in the third whereas clause. It's basically fixing one typographical error and then adding in numbers just to make sure it's clear as far as the bid that was received from Rochester Lawn Care. The third paragraph, the figures should read turf mowing services at a rate of $3,844.41 weekly per pass. Additionally, $1,075 weekly for double cut, $1,444.53 biweekly per pass, and then it will continue to read as stated, $705 monthly per pass and $1,150 once per season. And those are the figures from the Rochester Lawn Care bid.
Okay. Mr. Moore, will you second that amendment?
Absolutely, I second the amendment.
Okay. So with that, if you would like to highlight the resolution, please.
Sure. The balance of the proposed resolution is whereas sealed bids were sought and requested in a manner prescribed by law to furnish the Department of Public Works with a service contract that would provide the town of Penfield with weekly, biweekly, monthly, and once per season turf mowing services for the 2017 to 2021 mowing seasons. Whereas on January 20th, 2017, the following sealed bids were received, open, and read publicly from the following list of suppliers: Rochester Lawn Care Incorporated and Brockman Tree and Lawn. Whereas the bid received from Rochester Lawn Care Incorporated for the following weekly, biweekly, monthly, and once per season turf mowing services at a rate of $3,844.41 weekly per pass, $1,075 weekly for double cut, $1,444.53 biweekly per pass, $705 monthly per pass, and $1,115 once per season, was the lowest bid received, which meets or exceeds all of the town's bid specifications. Now therefore be it resolved that a contract is awarded to Rochester Lawn Care Incorporated of Penfield, New York, for complete weekly, biweekly, monthly, and once per season turf mowing. The town's specifications, this resolution, the bid submitted by Rochester Lawn Care shall constitute as the contract to be reviewed and approved by the town attorney.
Thank you. So I will ask the board first to vote on the amendment with the modifications as highlighted by Councilwoman Metzler, and then we'll get into the broader discussion of the resolution. So I'll ask for a call on the amendment.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
And now for the main motion that was on the table for this resolution. Is there any further discussion or comments on that resolution?
Mr. Supervisor, I would just like to comment, we just had a great discussion regarding drainage, and one of the items I'd like to highlight as far as this resolution is concerned, and as we have been able to contract with Rochester Lawn Care already in the past and will continue to do so now for this 5-year term, we have been able to thereby free up our skilled workforce and skilled employees to be able to tackle and complete more drainage projects than ever before. So I think it's not not included in the resolution, but important to note the positive effect that embarking on this type of resolution and agreement with Rochester Lawn Care has on other services that the town provides.
Great.
Mr. Supervisor, if I can, I'd just like to follow up on Councilwoman Paula Metzler's comments. I too will be supporting this resolution. One, Rochester Lawn Care is a Penfield-based business, which is always nice, doing work here in the town of Penfield. But also, she made some good points about the highly skilled labor force that we have here as town employees. And those individuals, those employees, can now spend more time doing additional drainage work, doing additional work in the parks, in our town parks, also additional work in town facilities, whether it's the library, community center, town hall, or lodges. Also doing additional work on town-controlled roads and culverts throughout the town of Penfield. So I think this is the right thing to do for the residents, and I fully support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, I'll call for a vote on the main motion that was amended.
Cole?
Aye.
The Fountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Great, thank you.
Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign 3 recreation contracts, and they're all entertainment related in July for the Zach Brown Tribute Band to perform. For our 4th of July celebration, that'll be on July 1st, Doghouse Music Entertainment. And Tasting the Blues, September 16th, Steve Grills and the Roadmasters Entertainment.
Okay, very good. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
The Fountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
4 ayes.
This brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, our new business and our resolution 17T069.
Authorization for town supervisor to sign a memorandum of agreement with the town of Arundecoit regarding use of town equipment.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign a memorandum of agreement with the town of Arundecoit regarding the Arundecoit Department of Public Works use of town of Penfield equipment. Said memorandum is to be reviewed and approved by the town attorney.
Okay, thank you. Discussion on this resolution.
No, I'm sorry. Mr. Supervisor, just to kind of reiterate again, I first would like to thank you for submitting this resolution to the board. As was pretty well known throughout the community, the town of Arundecoit experienced a pretty horrific fire in their Department of Public Works building, which I think destroyed much of their public works equipment. And that very next day, I believe you reached out to each one of the town board members and notified us that you have offered any assistance to the town of Arundecoit in the spirit of intermunicipal cooperation and anything they may need to help run their public works department, because here we are in the middle of winter, and as we know, there's a lot of elements that happen in the weather that cause, the need for plowing of sidewalks, plowing of parking lots, and plowing of public roads. And so I think you were probably one of the first supervisors to reach out to Arundecoit to offer any assistance possible. And I appreciate you notifying the town board that you did that. Spirit of cooperation has always been embraced by this town board and by you as supervisor, and I think that's a good thing. There may be individuals at other levels of government that choose to take shots at towns and villages and counties for various political reasons, but I think this is just a small example of the intermunicipal cooperation that occurs here in Monroe County through the 19 towns, villages, the many school districts. And I know you've been a leader of that municipal cooperation, being, if I remember, a past president of the Monroe County Council of Governments, or are you the current president?
No.
Past president? Past president. And your leadership on that was certainly a good thing for this town and a good thing for Monroe County. So thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you for being a leader and putting politics aside and helping a town that experienced a pretty horrific fire and depleted most of their public works equipment, and letting this town know exactly what your intentions were. So thank you.
Thank you.
I would echo certainly and agree with what Councilman Morris said, and just for those who are watching and are not familiar with what was loaned, as Councilman Moore said, and I do believe that we were one of the first, if not the first towns, and through Supervisor LaFountain, to reach out to Arundequoit without hesitation to help our neighbors, and we ended up offering any assistance we could, and it turned out to be in the form of a snowplow, an extra snowplow and truck, and use of our extra sewer vac in the event that they had some sort of sewer emergency in Arundequoit. So those are certainly important vehicles that now, through this agreement, just kind of shores up their ability to continue to use it as they recoup and try to get back on their feet, so to speak, with respect to this horrific fire they experienced. So thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
4 ayes.
This brings us to our second public participation. If you're in the audience, you can address the board on any matter, 340-8771 by phone or log on at penfield.org. Seeing no additional public participation this evening and no further business to come before the board, I will note that the next legislative session of the town board will be March 1st, 2017 at 7 p.m. in this room. And again, being no further business to come before the board, this February 15th, 2017 legislative session of the town board stands adjourned at 7:48 p.m. Thank you to everyone that participated. Thank you to Penfield TV.